Good morning and happy Monday, and welcome back to another Mission Minded Monday here with me, Asia Nasir, your favorite nonprofit strategist and founder of Utopian Enterprise Business Solutions, where my mission is to help aspiring and existing founders fulfill their missions in real time. And I'm also the author of my book, Nonprofit Doesn't Mean No Profit, that you can actually get on Amazon. So, welcome back, as I mentioned, to another Mission Minded Monday here where I share content for nonprofit founders to, just have something on a Monday to just kind of spark some strategy, some impact, and momentum. So that is what, this whole year has been for me, is just really giving strategy, all about strategy this year. So I want to talk about a topic that I think is extremely important and that I find is really a problem for grassroots nonprofits. A lot of grassroots nonprofits, they're doing a lot of work. They're wanting to make an impact, but they're not getting the support that they need. They're not getting the support to help them to stay sustainable. So this week, when I'm looking at some of my clients and what I see other nonprofit organizations that are struggling, one of the things that I find is that they don't have an online presence. They don't. They don't have an online presence, or it's inconsistent. And what I mean by that is it's a hit and miss. You don't even know if they exist, or are they still around. There's a lot of things that are, their online presence is either non-existent or it's lacking in a lot of areas. And so one of the things that I always tell my clients, and my clients will tell you, I always say people can't support who they don't know. People cannot support who they don't know. So if you're unseen and unheard, you're going to have a hard time being able to get the support that you need to sustain your nonprofit organization. So today's topic is all about that. Unseen equals unheard. And so what we're going to talk about is the power of a strong online presence. So I have 3 strategies that I want to share with you today that I think is really going to change the game for you and your nonprofit. So listen close, take some notes, and understand, start thinking as we're talking, how am I going to change this? How are me and the rest of the board going to strategically start taking some steps to make a change in our online presence? So let's get right into it. Strategy number 1 is treat your online presence. Treat your online presence as a digital grant application. Treat your online presence like a digital grant application. So what do I mean by that? What I find is, and this is every nonprofit. We're always looking for that grant. We're always looking for that grant to fill out, to complete, to hopefully help us sustain our organization and give us the funding that we need to provide the services that we need to provide for the community that needs it the most, right? So grant, you're always seeking for that grant. But the one thing that we're doing while we're chasing these grants to apply for, and foundation money and sponsorships and things like that, what we're failing to remember is, excuse me, excuse me, what we're failing to remember is these grant funders, the very thing that they're looking at is our online presence. And that's the thing that's lacking. And that is sometimes one of the reasons why you're not getting the grant application that you need. So let me just break that down in layman terms. When you apply for a grant application, when the grant funders start looking at your organization or corporate sponsorships or foundation, the one thing that they look for is your website. They look for your website. Does your website support what it is that you're saying on your grant application? Do you have a website? A lot of grassroots nonprofits that are just getting started, they kind of put the cart before the horse, and they start asking for grants because they got that 501c3, but the online presence is lacking. So you may or may not have a website. Or for existing nonprofit founders, what you find is you have an outdated website. You have program services that you no longer offer. There's no updated pictures. There's no real pictures. They're like stock photos and things like that, which is great to get started. However, as your organization is evolving and building and creating its own data, you should be using real live photos of what your organization is doing. So is your website outdated? Do you not have a website? That is going to be crucial, because what they want to see is that your organization is actually doing what it says that on that grant application. Do you have a social media platform? Meaning, are you on Instagram? Are you on Facebook? Are you on LinkedIn? You are a business. That is a professional platform. So are you on LinkedIn, explaining about your nonprofit organization, sharing the wonderful work that it's doing for other corporations and individual donors to be able to support your nonprofit organization? So while you are applying for this grant, 9 times out of 10, when you're applying for this grant and they're looking for, information about your grant application, it's not there. Bear with me one second. Bear with me one second. I got someone knocking on the door. Sorry about that. So, as I was mentioning before, a lot of times you don't have an online presence. So that is going to create a problem for that grant funder, because they're seeing that while you're saying all of these wonderful things, they can't see that on a consistent basis. There's no photos, there's nothing about your organization online. So if you have an online presence and you want to be able to continue to grow that presence, one of the things that you should be doing at least on a quarterly basis is auditing your visibility, checking to see when you type in on Google and you type in your nonprofit, what actually pops up? Does anything pop up? Is it outdated things that pop up? That's how late or outdated your information is on social media. That is a representation of what grant funders look at. Are you consistently looking at your website and seeing, does your website provide the information that is current on your organization, and does it give it an easy way for people to support? Does it make it easy for people to understand what you offer, so when they walk away from your website, there's no ambiguity about what your organization offers? And does it match what you say on your grant application? So treat your online presence as a grant application, because it is part of them being able to make a decision if you are a credible organization, if you are an active organization, and are you an organization that has been consistently doing what it says that what you say that you've been doing. So that's strategy number one. Strategy number two is, and this is a big one, guys. What I want you to take away from strategy number two is, a lot of times as a nonprofit organization, you will find that nonprofits, while it is a business with a social or charitable cause, that's the term I want to use. You are a business with a charitable cause. You are not a charity case. And you will find that a lot of nonprofit founders, especially grassroots, first generation entrepreneurs, run their nonprofit organization as though they are the charity, that they're the one in need of charity, and not this is a business with a charitable cause looking to help those that are in need. So it's extremely important that you make that distinction within your organization. How do you do that, and what does that look like? Well, when you are the service provider, you are the business, you are the mission to be able to create something, the way you present yourself has to be that you are the go-to person. You have the knowledge, you have the wherewithal of why you started your mission in the first place. What is the problem? What is the issue that your organization is trying to eradicate? What is the issue? Is it food insecurity? Is it child delinquency? Is it women empowerment? Is it economic development? Whatever it is that you're looking to do, what is the issue in What is happening? What is the alternative? What is the thing that's the void that you're looking to come in as a service provider and provide? So you have to be, have to know, give some statistics, give the issue, right? What is the issue? And then provide the what your organization is doing to be the combat for that, right? So now you become the go-to. You're the expert in this situation, because people don't follow nonprofits. They don't. People don't follow nonprofits. People don't follow because you started a nonprofit, that's why we're going to follow you. No. What people follow is vision. What people follow is strategy, and what people follow is impact. Okay? Three things: vision, strategy, impact. So you see that there is a problem, you have a vision of how you're going to change that, you have strategy and a plan behind it, and you have the results, the data to show that the work that you're doing is actually making a difference. That's what people follow. Not that you started a nonprofit and not because you have a 501c3. That is not what people follow. That is not what people engage in. People engage in vision. People love to see a vision. People love to see you working on that vision, having a strategy behind it. And then they love to see, even if it's on a small impact, week by week, month by month, people like to see the impact of your work. So you do that, you create live. Now share what's happening in in your community, why you're starting your nonprofit, why is your nonprofit so important. It's not working. So who's not supporting that? And what is the detriment to your community if nothing is done? That share reels about that. And then everyone, position yourself in those lives, in those reels, as the expert. Know the issue, know how to combat it, and then position yourself in your nonprofit organization to be the solution. That is what you have to do. So that's strategy number 2. Strategy number 3, and that's why, what they say, save the best last. All right, so that's what I did. So strategy number 3 is storytelling has to become part of your daily routine. That has to be so. So if you're not versed at storytelling, take a class, watch people who actually tell great stories, learn uh, the formula in telling a good story, but become a storyteller. I'll give you some examples of some organizations that do a great job at telling stories, and they're nonprofits. St. Jude's Hospital for Children. They are amazing at telling stories. They not only share the work that they do, but they show the impact, the families that are being impacted, the children that are being impacted, the families, the parents, right? They show you exactly who you're impacting. If it wasn't here, what would be the impact to these children and their family, right? They show you exactly how they help, not only with the research. Your money helps with research. Your money helps with being able to allow them to offer this amazing work without it costing a dime to the family. A family that does not have the means to be able to pay for this. This is a devastating blow to a child. So a parent has to be there. So there's going to be some economic hardship, because there's going to be has to give up their income to be with this child. And so your money helps this family to be able to do that. And then they share the beautiful journey of each and every child, that family's journey. So they tell a story. They tell a story. And then at the end, what do? There's a call to action. Your donation of $19 a month is going to help this, and this. That's a story. You have the ASPCA. What do? They show the poor animals that are in horrific conditions, and how they go to rescue these animals. Your money allows them to be able to get the medical attention that they need, to get the love that they need, and to get them back to a place where they can be rescued with a loving family that is going to be their forever home. And so the same thing. What do they have at the end? The call to action for you to be able to assist. That's what your nonprofit has to do. Your nonprofit has to be that storyteller about your organization. So if it's a family, just say you're doing food insecurity, share a story about a family. a family that utilizes your services, and what happened? What happened to them? You know, that people think that food insecurity is just for the homeless. You have working class families that are working and struggling to be able to put food on the table. Share that family story if they're willing to be seen, because this is something that's important. It's not just their family, it's so many people. So what you should be doing is sharing at least once a week a story, sharing a testimony, sharing the impact. Someone that, so if you work with the youth, have a student talk about their journey with your organization, how it's helped them, how it's been a change in their life. And for parents of this child who maybe have behavioral issues, maybe being promiscuous or not getting good grades at school or behaving properly, how your organization came in and made a difference. So that is what your organization needs to do to be able to share. I wanted to share with you today on this Minded Monday 3 strategies to help you to be able to have a more impactful online presence, a consistent online presence, so that way people that you're looking to have support you, whether it be individual donations, corporate donations, or grant funders, be able to see your online presence and actually want to give your organization. So that way, it doesn't become a situation of should we give to this nonprofit? What they're able to see from your online presence is, why wouldn't we give to this nonprofit? So before I go, I want to share something that Utopian Enterprise is offering this coming Saturday, because we are helping, as I mentioned before, helping you fulfill your missions in real time. Is we have at the end of the year, if you're not aware, Giving Tuesday on December 2nd is the biggest one-day fundraising event that happens every single year. And some organizations actually do really good, in obtaining funding on that special day. And then you have other organizations that make absolutely no money. So what I want to do is help you to be able to get some of the funding that's out there for your organization. So on the 18th, which is next Saturday, starting at 1 o'clock or 12 o'clock, I'm going to be helping whole organizations, not just the founder, not just the executive director, but getting the whole team together virtually so you can watch from the comfort of your home to be able to learn strategies, building up and preparing for a successful Giving Tuesday. So I'm going to put the link in the chat here so that way you can share with your organization. And again, this is for the founder, the executive director, board of directors, and if you have a fundraising committee, the entire organization that helps you secure funding for your organization, that is who this is for. So I put it in the chat here. It's right there so you can see it. Click the link and sign up, because there's only it's literally 1 week away. So that's what I wanted to share with you on this Mission Monday. Stay tuned, because in 2 weeks, I'll be coming back with another relevant topic for your nonprofit organization. Be impactful and to have strategy behind it. So see you in 2 weeks.